everyone. So I look a little rough today. I just had sort of a rough night last night. Didn't get much sleep. Really sick to my stomach. And the last video I uploaded will tell you why that is. I wanted to discuss a problem that is perpetuated in family court caused by NPD people or BPD people. There's two different techniques, or three techniques that are used in family court by the Cluster B. First of all, they are piggybacking off of movements that victims of these kinds of people, groups of us are trying to bring awareness to what these people are doing, and they're piggybacking off of it, pretending to be the victim themselves. So if they were an abuser, they will piggyback off of the parental alienation movement, off of the father's rights movements, for example, and claim that they were being alienated, while the mother might have just been protective, or the other way around. Now there are narcissists that are legitimately alienating the other parent, but they're piggybacking off of victims of alienation and awareness that DV claims are made up a lot of the time in order to gain an advantage in court. And they're basically ruining some of the progress that we're making. Or, there are, legitimate victims of DV, and, because so many people have made that up to gain the advantage, they'll go in and they'll claim that their ex was just making that up, Or, in some other cases, you work with them every step of the way, every single step of the way, offering time, begging, pleading. And because you don't go 100% with every single thing, if you say need the children back at 6:30 instead of 8 o'clock, well, you're alienating. What really, really bothers me about this is that I am a parents' rights activist. I'm an advocate for shared parenting. I work with people to co-parent, and I've done that every single step of the way. And for this to get turned on me like this, it's a slap in the face. It's just a slap. So we need to continue to spread awareness, not just for, legitimate victims of DV, but, legitimate parental alienation as well. But we need to spread the awareness of signs and symptoms of NPD or BPD, Cluster B personality disorders in particular. Because I was talking to the attorney that I met with yesterday, and I told him, I said, I'm 99% certain, I can't be 100% because I'm not a doctor, that my ex is NPD. And we can't use that word in court. You can't go around and call someone that, because not only does that make you look suspicious or malicious, or that you're name calling, or whatever. It makes you look crazy to go around and use that term. And too many people overuse that term these days. People that are just self-indulgent are being called NPD. disease or being self-indulgent. While that is part of the nature of the disease, that is not just because you're self-absorbed does not mean you're NPD. These people are manipulative. They are scheming. They zero conscience, zero empathy, and they're able to turn on and off certain behaviors with a drop of a hat. We need to spread the awareness of cluster B so that people that aren't NPD aren't being labeled that, and so that when we mention these other behaviors, it starts making sense to the courts, to the professionals. Unfortunately, no matter how much, how much progress we've made, the courts are very unfamiliar with these behaviors. And a lot of people that are scorned by the courts, I was one of them for a few years. I was very bitter about the way it had gone my first time around, because it seemed like these people can put on an act, and no matter what evidence you have, it doesn't seem to make a difference. But I now that I've had some time to recover emotionally, I wouldn't be all conspiracy about it, but you got to think about it this way. People that had a normal, healthy family life growing up, normal, loving parents that did not neglect them, or they provide them emotional stability, then they didn't turn out cluster B. They have no idea that families even exist like this. It's hard for them to believe. It's foreign, it's alien to them. If they have no experience with it, they're not going to understand. And for someone to be successful, grounded, and tranquil enough in their own head to make it through high school and college and graduate school, to become a lawyer and become prestigious enough, you become a family court judge. They probably didn't have a chaotic childhood. They probably had normal range parents. And so when you go in there and say that someone is purely doing this to use, others as a pawn or manipulate, they cannot believe that. You simply come off as mentally unstable, which is easier for them to understand, comprehend, because there's more awareness about mental conditions than there are personality disorders. So, definitely we need to keep spreading the word. Share articles. I wouldn't go on your Facebook or Twitter account and rant about personality disordered people, but spread articles, from scholarly sources. And the off chance that your friend reads it, shares it, that's one more person, that is aware of this kinds of stuff. And hopefully we can continue to spread awareness, because spouses, grandparents, children are all collateral damage of these borderline or narcissistic personality disordered people. And, they're ripping apart generations. And I think in our society already, we're already suffering from the collapse of the family. We're already suffering from collapse of society. And we don't need these people just being a little cherry